Oh, I've had enough. I think most of the British public have had enough. Let's speak now to Wendy Morton, MP, who's the Shadow Foreign Minister. Wendy, welcome to the show.
Morning.
Rachel Reeves telling that lie. And it's a lie. We know it's a lie. It's astonishing. It's jaw-dropping.
I think jaw-dropping, astonishing, disgraceful. I mean, words either fail me, or there's a whole string of words I could use to how I feel. But I think it's just deeply disgusting. I mean, how can the public trust the Chancellor now after what she has done? Personally, I think it's time she went. She did lie. From all that I have seen, she has lied to the country. The OBR have made it very, very clear now that she knew on the 17th of September what the lie of the state of the land was financially. And she's had individuals worried about what was coming in the budget. Businesses that I've been talking to have been worried about what's coming in the budget. That's on top of pensioners, farmers. And this is from the party who said that they were here to help working people. Her budget does not do that. Her budget has been quite simply about lying her way to enable her to appease her backbenchers. And it says a lot about the state of the Labour Party's leadership as well as that of the Chancellor.
I mean, I don't fancy the chances of her going at all. I think she'll dig her heels in. I think she'll come up with even more lies to cover up the lie. And I reckon by the end of the week, she's still going to be in position. What do you reckon?
Well, who knows? I think it's important that we all keep the pressure up and actually make sure that the general public know what has been going on when it comes to the budget. It was disgraceful over the last few weeks, as if leak after leak after leak weren't bad enough. Just before the budget itself, that OBR report was leaked onto the Gov website, then it was taken down. And then as the day has gone on, and the whole story of her budget has been unravelling. And she's, the story of the black hole that didn't exist. And why? So it's quite simple. So it's all been about Rachel Reeves trying to keep her backbenchers quiet and to create, more benefits. But it's working people that are having to pay for that. So I come back to my central point is how on earth can we expect people to trust the Chancellor?
In my mind, it sort of shines a different light on the OBR sticking the budget up online an hour early, because she did that press conference in the morning, didn't she, where she invented this big old lie, saying to everyone, well, it's not going to be good news because of the black hole, because everyone else's fault and not mine. And then, oh, look, the OBR, who know this to be an absolute stinker, suddenly published stuff before the budget. And I wonder now whether someone inside the OBR was saying, we're not going to let you get away with this.
Well, I suppose, there should be an inquiry into what happened, but we are where we are. But the truth of the matter remains, how can we trust this Chancellor? And she has now brought forward £30 billion. That's an eye-watering amount of money, Alex, in terms of a package of tax rises. And who's going to pay? It's going to be the people that get up day in, day out and go out to work. They're the working people of this country, the very people that Labour said that they would stand up for. They're breaking their manifesto promise yet again, and I think they're treating the British public as fools, and the British public are not.
I can't think of one decent thing that this government has done. It just feels like every single decision they make is anti-British. It really, really does. I cannot wait for them to go.
Well, I totally agree with you on that. The only good thing I can think of that they did was they U-turned on the winter fuel allowance. They listened to people like us who said that this was unfair. But again, imagine a Labour government that brought forward the abolition of a winter fuel payment, which was actually helping again the very people who worked hard all their lives but needed that bit of extra help. Unbelievable, but at least we managed to get that one overturned. Look at what they're doing to the farmers, the very people who put our food on the table. For anyone who's having turkey, sprouts, carrots at Christmas, who's going to be producing that at the moment? The farmers. But no, Labour would rather tax them out of existence.
Yeah, they seem to basically be going after all the things a government is supposed to protect. They're going after our agriculture, they're going after our energy efficiency, they're going after our sovereign territory, they're going after the money being earned by regular Brits. and essentially giving it away largely to big families with foreign-born parents, because if you look at the data, the vast majority of families with more than 2 children happen to have a parent who wasn't born in Britain. I just don't understand whose side they're on. Do you reckon they're going to get hammered as well? I mean, despite the fact that they're just horrific and doing what they like, seemingly with impunity, they are facing a lot of challenges on the left. The left is fracturing, isn't it? We've got the launch of Your Party, which apparently is going to change its name this weekend. You've got the sort of weird over-promotion of that snaggle-toothed strange man from the Green Party, the hypnotist, Zach Polanski. At least one thing us sensible-minded patriots can hold on to is the idea that the left-wing are sort of fracturing into loads of weird little clans.
I mean, I think we are seeing a fracturing of the left. But what I see day in, day out when I'm in the House of Commons and I look at those government benches, I often see glum faces, but it does feel like, it's that old phrase, it's the tail that's wagging the dog. It's the backbenchers who are actually putting huge amounts of pressure under Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves to get the policies that they want. And we've seen it again this week. And I think people must be wondering what this wasn't what we voted for.
No, it definitely was not. And if people had any idea what this wicked government were going to do, they would be nowhere near the levers of power. Wendy, thank you ever so much for joining me this morning.
In the end, this entire episode isn't just about financial figures or a leaked report, it's about honesty, credibility, and leadership. A chancellor who knowingly misled the public has shaken confidence at the very moment people are already struggling with rising costs, uncertainty, and a government that feels increasingly out of touch. From farmers to pensioners to everyday working families, those who keep this country running are being asked to pay the price for political games and internal pressure. And while the government tries to defend the indefensible, the truth remains clear: trust, once broken at this level, is almost impossible to repair. This moment will be remembered not just for the policy fallout, but for the blatant disregard shown to the very people they promised to protect. Do you think the Chancellor should resign? Or will she attempt to hold on despite the public backlash? If you found this analysis useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss our next political update.